The message was, Gurmukh tat hai bichara, amrit vasai tere pandhara, bin satgur seve koi na paavai, gur kirpa te aavani-aa. The true master always focuses on the essence. Gurmukh tat, tat means the essence. What appears on the surface can be very misleading. Say for example, you look at a sesame seed. By looking at it, you can never imagine that it is also a source of very, very powerful oil. In India, sesame seed is called til. And oil in our language is a tel. Tilan da tel, oil from the sesame seed. So when you have lot of them, and you pass them through the rollers, it literally starts flowing with the oil as a running stream. In spiritual language, in mystical language, in physical language, it is oil, tel. In spiritual language, it is the essence, tat. Just as looking at a person's face or persona or personality, you cannot really know what is the essence of this person. So we start reacting and behaving and making judgments based on the outer environment. That's not how a mystic works. And that was the distinction drawn last week. Gurmukh, the one who's following on the path, who's following the words of the master. What is it? This individual focused on? Tat hai bichara. Bichara means to think about, to analyze, to only talk about the essence. I usually find myself plunging into that type of conversation on the Facebook when I see a post which is touching the surface but not seeing the essence. My attempt is not to correct the master. If Rumi has said something and we have misunderstood Rumi, and saw it from the surface. That means the essence was missed. To give you an example, only recently we were looking at the difference dance until you shatter yourself, and that quotation is attributed to Rumi. So when you look at the word yourself, what are you shattering? If as a Sufi you are dancing, what are you shattering? So I just reposted the same thing and said, look at it again. Dance until you shatter your, quote, self. The whole meaning changes. Now we have gone to the essence of what Rumi was trying to say in his own language. But the translator did not get to the essence. The words is saying, he is not or she is not picking the wrong grammatical meaning of the word, but he is missing the essence, the tat. So when you are on the path, that's what you need to focus on. Because lot of construct of the language makes you feel very good. It sounds very nice. And when you get to the essence, nothing could be further from the truth. So I am using these examples to highlight the meaning of the message again, to refresh your memory. Last sitting said, Gurmukh tat hai bichara. Take the essence. Look for the essence. Don't skim the surface. Because if you skim the surface only, then it's like churning the water, no butter is coming out. You are very busy though. You are running a lot. We watch that little gerbil running on the spinning wheel. How many miles this little critter has put on his legs? Where did he go though? What did he achieve? That is exactly what happens to the human mind. It runs a lot. But it reaches nowhere. Because it is constantly missing the essence. Once you get to the essence, what happens? Gurmukh tat hai bichara, amrit bhare tere pandara. You say, in there really lies that nectar, that embryos for which you are yearning for your peacefulness. It's hidden there in the essence. Take the sesame seed, eat it or swallow it or put on a bun and with the bread and be done with it. You haven't really used the sesame seed till you actually took that sesame seed and passed through the rollers and really withdrew that oil out of it. Now use that oil. It will provide you with a totally different experience. Same is the case with Master's words. The brain will try to catch on, and because it's making noise along with it, it's analyzing them. Biggest difficulty for the human mind is to sit next to the Master and be quiet. Share the silence. Why? Because only silences can emerge. The words will never emerge. Words will actually give rise to the noise. Both will be talking simultaneously. When you read a page on which some words are written, what emerges on that page? Think about it. What emerges? How many of you had the opportunity to focus on the white between two words? Ever stop and think about it? The page in front of you, what are you doing? You are skipping from one word to the next, not paying attention to the white between the two at all. And the reality is, white merges. The words will never merge. Now try to read that page in a totally unique way. Ignore the words and skip from white to the white to the white to the white. That time that page will be saying something totally different. But we are not in the habit of focusing on the essence. That's why we miss the joy that comes out of just noticing the white between two black letters. Same way in the language. Holding on to the words coming out of the mouth will not give you the essence. You need to go beyond the words and hear what has not been said. We have never practiced it. Nobody has ever taught us how to listen to the silences between the words. Because if there was no silence between the words, you wouldn't even understand the words, much less the silence. A very common problem when you are growing up. Try to listen to any child. The child is so much in a hurry to get everything out. They talk so fast. You have to literally remind them, I didn't understand anything, would you slow down? Put some gaps between your words because I do not understand. The words are mingled up together. They are merged into each other. They are dovetailing. Put a pause. Slow down. When you slow down, what happens? Amrit bhare tere pandara. You get the essence. Why? Because the Creator actually is filled with infinite blessing when you are really focused on the gap, the focus on the essence. Bhandara literally means collection, accumulation. How much accumulated? Infinite. But to enjoying that infinite blessing, learn and practice to focus on the essence. Who will tell you that? बिन सतगुर सेवे कोई ना पावे, गुर कृपा ते पावने. This message is not available to everybody. And when it is available to you, you may not be ready to receive it at all. There is a beautiful parable from Hindu mythology that a blind couple, very poor, used to go into the forest and collect firewood, and then on the way back beg from the village and then cook their food, what they have begged, using that firewood. One day, both of them collecting the firewood, and an angel of mercy happened to observe them. And the one said to the other, that's a very, very tough life to live. What will happen to them as they grow old? Shouldn't we help them? And the other one says, they are burning their karmic ribbons, karmic debt, karmic thread. You won't be able to help them. Now, I don't buy that. So what are you going to do? He said, watch me, I'm going to help them. So whatever eyesight was left, they could use that. So what he does, as they are going to cross the bridge back to their home, he scattered the entire pavement of the bridge with very precious stones. The idea being that as they cross, they will notice these valuables because little light is left in the eyes. The stones are going to shine and they will pick up these shiny objects. Now look what happens. As they are getting closer to the bridge, one asks the other, we are getting very old. glimmer of light in the eyes is dying. What will we do when this light completely goes away? The other one says, let us start practicing as if we have completely lost the eyes. So, you put your hand on my shoulder and I will walk ahead of you with closed eyes, and I'll take this wood that we have picked and I'll feel my way as if I am completely blind. You can see what happened. Both of them passed the bridge with closed eyes, bypassing all of the blessings that were available to them. Beautiful metaphor. That's exactly what happens to the human mind even when the mind is invited to open up. Let it go to the heart, get out of the way. It will find a perfectly logical excuse and an explanation to bypass it. You need His grace even for that, to keep it open. And that was the message. Amrit bhare tere pandara bin satgur seve koi na paave. Without His blessings, you are still going to miss it. It will be in front of you. The essence will be actually taken out and handed to you. And the only way you're going to get it, gur kirpa te banee. Kirpa literally means grace, blessing. Only His grace can help you. So then, what is the human mind to do? And the answer comes, satgur sayvai sojan sohai amrit naam, antar mohai, amrit mantan banee rataa, amrit sahj sunaavni-aa. So you have only one choice. The only thing that is within your control. What is within your control? Satgur sayvai. Merge yourself in His memory. Start practicing it. So that the consciousness which is in the habit of playing games with Him and being true to the world shifts the behavior and now becomes true to Him and start playing games with the outside world. That requires practice. And it isn't 2 days, 2 years, 2 lives work. Sooner you start, that much ahead of the game you will be. But you must start. Don't look for an explanation why you cannot do it now. Satgur sayvai sojan sohai. Those who have taken that step, sojan, those entities are on the path to that accomplishment. Because if they stay with it, what will happen? Amrit naam antar manmukh. Everything that's outside will start becoming internalized. Haven't you ever had this sense? I am sad, but I don't know why. I am happy, but I don't know why. Been you ever in that space? You know where that space comes from? The outer things are becoming internal now. And you are not familiar with that territory. That is why you don't know why you are happy or sad or angry or gloomy or dejected or desperate, despondent. All these feelings, if you were experienced, you will go straight to its root. You will know where it came from. But you are not experienced, and you are not putting it into practice either. So nature gives you the glimpse once in a while. It opens that door. It gives you that taste. Look, you can take this feeling and make it permanent for you on your command. You can literally turn on a switch inside and the light will be on. It is possible. Every master, every mystic has done that, achieved that. That's why he is documenting it here. That's what he is showing you. This is not a theory. It's not a philosophy. It is experiential awareness. It is not the knowledge, it is the knowing. That's what is here. The knowing. Having actually done it, achieved it, experienced it. Only then that was converted into the language form, because we can only deal with the language form. We have not learned to listen to the silence yet. But we don't. This just becomes an idle chit-chat. Nice to hear, good to talk, good to discuss, nice time passed. Now let's do the real thing. And what's the real thing for us? It's now time for me to watch my favorite soap opera. That's my real work. It's now time for me to take my mud bath. This is my real work. And you know the rest. So what does it do? Manmukh bhoolaa doojai bhaa-ay khu-aa-ay. The first word was gurmukh, that means the one who's following the word coming from the master's mouth. Gur, master, mukh, his mouth. And the opposite of that is manmukh. Man means the mind, your own mind, and the words that are coming out of your own mouth. All of your words will be coming through the filter of your own memory and your own experiences. They are not the essence. They are all clouded by your own experience. Every single one of them. Every single one of them is coming from your memory. If you look at me and say, this is just one sitting, the only way you can say that some time ago, first time when you saw this, the word jaswant was associated with this form. So when this form presents itself to your memory, the word wakes up because it finds a match. If he doesn't find the match, he will say, no, 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 this is not this one. Isn't it? It's a very simple mechanism. There is an image stored in your memory about every single experience. Every single thing. What is this? This is a laptop. How do you know? Well, first time when you saw this and you asked somebody, what is this? They said it's a laptop. So you took this image, put the word laptop label on it and stored it. Now when I show you that and say, look, this is laptop, so you can hold it. I'm not an idiot, that's not a laptop. This is a laptop. How do you know? It is not your own experience, it is your memory. It is that image. And when everything is coming out of that image, what happens? Manmukh bhoolaa. Then you forget the essence. Bhoolaa means to forget. Doojai, bhaa-ay, khu-aa-ay. Doojai means the outside world. Bhaa-ay means the attachment. Khu-aa-ay means to actually suffer. To get lost in the maze of the things. When you are attached with the outside, you get lost in the maze. Naam na layvai. Marai, bikh, khaa-ay. The real world is now completely forgotten. Naam means the real world, the essence. Na layvai. Forgets it. Doesn't remember it. Why? Because the focus is on the outside. The focus is on the black, not on the white. Focus is on the noise, not the gap between the noise. Naam na layvai, marai. That means now it is a complete spiritual death. Marai literally means to die. It's a spiritual death now. How did you die? Bikh, khaa-ay. Bikh means the poison. The spiritual death has happened because you have ingested, digested the poison of the outside world, the illusionary world. Why the poison became attractive to you? Because the thought passed through your memory. We said this is the good thing. Look, if you are not to enjoy these senses, why would God give you? Very common argument. I got an email from India last week from a young man with exactly the same question. And the question was, if the sex was not to be enjoyed, why did the God make it? He has given that to every creation. As a matter of fact, He made it very purposeful. All of the perpetuation of the races are coming through this. And in your talks, you have said that it is one of the desires, and the desires, all desires should be managed. Please explain. You see how cleverly we are eating the poison? God must have meant this because it is appealing to my mind. my mind. I like this a lot. Why? Because the memory says it feels good. And if anybody comes back to you and say, you shouldn't do that, I give you the perfect defense. Devil made me do it. I am not responsible. Walk completely away without transforming yourself, without getting the essence. Justify your actions, your choices. How are you justifying? By ingesting that poison that is coming through your memory. manmukh bhoolaa, doojai bhaa-ay, khu-aa-ay, naam na layvai, marai, bikh, khaa-ay, andin sadaa, vistaa, vaasaa, janam, gavaavni-aa. So then what happens? In the end result, the whole opportunity of this birth is completely wasted. One birth has been completely wasted. Just by that. Because as far as the Creator is concerned, He is not going to get angry with you. He is not going to get judgmental with you. He just like that principle which says, you failed this class, so go back. That's all. Repeat the class. And in the outer world, you may be kicked out of a class because you are not learning the lesson. This school, you can stay until eternity. And He will never get tired of sending you back. And you can sit on this planet till eternity. He is not going to say, why are you doing this? Who will say that? That master, that gurmukh. He is that kind of a father. If you want to burn your hands, He will provide you with a fire. He said, go ahead. But a physical father will stop you. Don't put your hands in the fire. That's the difference between the master on the planet and the ultimate master of us all. That's the difference. He doesn't stop. Doesn't yell, scream, get annoyed, do nothing. No punishment. These are all our constructs. If I am doing bad, I must be punished. No, He doesn't punish. Punishment is go back and repeat the class. That's your only punishment. No other punishment. Forget what you have learned. Forget what you have read. Forget what you have heard. He's not vindictive. His compassion says, you are on a journey. And if you want to continue the journey, I will let you. And when you get tired of playing and you want to come home, I'll welcome you. Remember that metaphor that Jesus used of losing one goat or a lamb, one lamb, out of herds of thousands? And the owner went looking for that one, even though he has thousands. You know what the meaning of that is? The one who is lost actually is more valuable from all those who followed the same beaten path. This particular lamb had the courage to look up. Everybody else was looking down and walking. This lamb is an exception. He looked up. Everybody went away. He got lost. Such lambs are rare. They are required, needed, admired, welcomed by the same creator. You say, okay, now you have broken away from the herd. I will help you. I'll support you. I'll send you the energy that you need. I'll send you the guidance that you are going to need when you are walking alone. Now don't run scared and go join back into the herd. If you have separated, good. But those who don't, naam na leve mare bikh khaa-ay, andin sadaa vistaa vaasaa. Vistaa literally means the human waste. So that's how the mind lives. It enjoys the wasteland of its own creation, its own thinking, decorated very beautifully, arranged in a very nice sequence, and say, see, this is my tapestry, this is my garden. And the nature say, forget about this nice arrangement, come into the wild. Those of you who are nature lovers, try this. Just take a walk around a beautifully decorated and trimmed garden, and then step out and go into the completely untamed wild. See the difference. Feel the difference inside. One is his creation, the other is man's creation. One is completely mechanical, the other is completely poetical. Sheer poetry. One is pure logic, the other is pure emotion. One the food for the brain, the other the food for the soul. You can literally, actually experience this. Tomorrow is a Saturday. Go experiment. See how much truth is in it. The whole carnation is wasted. Bin sayvai, janam gavaavni-aa, amrit peevai, jisnu aap bhaa-ay, gur parsaadee, sahj, laa-ay. पूर्ण पूर्ण रहा सब आपे गुरमत नदरी आावनि-aa. It is His grace. Seek out His grace. Cry for His grace. Become worthy of His grace. Amrit peevai jisnu aap bhaa-ay. Only those have tasted this who are blessed by Him. Gur parsaadee sahj layvai. With His grace, you are actually enjoying the equipoise. Sahj, equipoise. What does it mean? You watch somebody laughing, he is laughing. You watch somebody crying, he is crying. You watch somebody sitting silent, he is sitting silent. To watch somebody talking, he is talking. Nothing exists except Him. That's equipoise. No other label. Good, bad, right, wrong, holy, sinful. None of the labels. It is just His drama. You become an observer, and more you watch, more all you can say, wow. That's it. There is no other language. There are no other words to describe it. But if you are not there, you will look for a beautiful, rational explanation. Linguistically woven like a diamond string. Everybody will say, wow, what a mastery of the language. And what happened in the meantime? The essence disappeared again. It slipped through your fingers right away again. Because you depended on the memory. You depended on your information. You depended upon your training. You depended upon your knowledge. It slipped. amrit peevai jisnu aap pe aaye, gur parsaadee sahj liv laa-ay, pooran poor rahi-aa sab aape. Everything, without exception, is he manifesting in physical form. It is he who's manifesting in the language. It is he who's manifesting in emotions. It is he who's laughing. It's he who's crying. It is he who's enjoying. It is he who's suffering. You are just a conduit. That's it. Just a conduit. Once you guys see that, Gurmati nadri aavani-aa, suddenly the whole vision opens up. All boundaries are dropped. Completely new vista opens in front of you. Totally unknown territory. And in that territory, this is what you will experience. Ape aap naranjan soi, jin sirji tin ape koi, nanak naam samal sadaa tu sahj sach samaavani-aa. You will suddenly come to grips with it. What? Ape aap naranjan soi. Nobody is his creator. Aap, the self. Ape, aap. Self-born, self-created. No mother, no father. Very difficult to comprehend. If there was an atheist sitting here, he will have a field day with this. Self-born. How is that possible? I will simply point this individual to a spider. Where is the net for the spider coming from? Isn't that self-created? You can accept a simple fact like that, and you cannot accept the spider creating something from within is okay for you. Because you can see it. But because you didn't see him creating himself, that is so difficult for you to accept. But once you are on the path, this becomes crystal clear, which is ape-aa. Self-generate. Niranjan. Niranjan means without any human characteristic. A revolutionary thought which will actually drive every organized religion bonkers. They'll go mad. Why? Because they have all lived with the belief he is loving and he is rewarding, and if you do not listen to him, he is punishing, and his punishment can be actually for eternity. Once you make that mistake, you just cannot say, I'm sorry and please forgive me, I won't do it again. He's not going to say, you made that mistake, now go to hell for eternity. And you tell them, you haven't mistaken all your life. He has no human characteristic. Niranjan. Without positive and a negative. It's pure energy. And that energy has both in it, which is Jin Sirji Tin Ape Goi. Sirji means to create, Goi means to destroy. The creation and destruction and sustenance is in the hands of a single energy. Don't go about selling, this is done by God and this is done by devil. It isn't so. It cannot be so. It defies all level of understanding. So what is for you to do then? Nanak naam samal sadaa tum. Come back. Sada means forever. Don't be wavering now. Don't be on and off. Come back forever. And if you come back forever with that intention, then sahj, such samaavani-aa, you will become one with the one. That's the only possible way, and that is your ultimate destiny. You are destined eventually to merge back into him. Like a naughty child, if you want to play along and want to stay outside the home, go on. He is not going to call you back. The master will say, haven't you lived long enough? Haven't you tasted everything you need to taste? Haven't you seen everything? What's left? Come back now. It's time to go home.